I'm trying the this JavaScript, jQuery functionality is working, but the date picker is not taking up.
Okay, we'll see. Anybody else?
Sir, I have tried and it's working.
It's working.
But but the only difference is I've just taken a normal text box and attached the
Yeah.
date picker to the value, but
Yeah.
it doesn't save into the database because when we designed the user details table, we did not have a column for DOB added to it, right? So it is not part of the model, but to the UI,
Okay.
I just put a text box and a date picker is added and added code into jQuery to populate current date or to pick any date from the user.
Okay. That's what. If you put a model property and you can
it's
attach
not binded
that,
to the model.
Then it will work. Or imagine you don't have a model property, then you can collect it separately also, right? As a query string variable also, you can collect it and then plug it in the controller. As of now, but if you modify your model, not model, view model, I think. So once you change to your view model, one more additional property, then it can.
We can add to that.
Yes, sir. I have tried in Ajax using date picker, so it's worked well, sir.
Okay, good. Check Manish with them if it is fixable. Otherwise, you connect me. We'll see what it is.
Right. And one more question. The same jQuery library need to be used, jQuery.js under the list.
Yeah. But while publishing, automatically minified version it will take.
Okay.
So excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So I have a small doubt. When we publish an project, in the JavaScript which we have used, you have told that for release min is good, sir. So how
min is good and min will taken in the release mode basically. In debug mode, it is up to you what you are dragging. But when you prepare the bundling and then package creation, you will be doing it in the release mode. So that time it will take minified version.
Yes, sir. While using in layout page, the script is bundling also, including this min.
Yeah. So min should be actually included, and others will not be included, like those who are debugging level. So that means imagine x.js, it will take x.min.js.
Okay, sir.
So whatever library we might have used.
Sir, one more question. If we are after designing the database, we have created the database through the entity framework and it having some data. Now we want to need some modification is required in the case. Like for example, we need to add the new column date of joining. Right, sir?
Okay.
So what should be the right approach to do such kind of thing? If data is already there, what should we do?
Still it will allow. Like if you are adding a column, it will not restrict. Okay. But if you are modifying a column, that time this restriction will be there.
Okay.
Whether you need to allow or not allow. So that is applicable in database also now.
Right.
Imagine no application, only going to be database. Already one column is having data, right? So if you are going to say that 100 character is there, I want to make it 10 character. It will not allow, right? In database also. Same thing is applicable here also. But which is allowing in database, it will also allow in entity framework.
Okay.
Like you can still add a column, no problem, if data is there.
And we need to follow this update migration.
Correct. You have to just add one more migration person. That's it. And these things will be done during your development period itself, not during production release. Usually, there will be steps, right? First, you will do development, debugging, then you have unit tested. In test server, you have already going on putting. Like suppose 3 months release plan, then that 3 months you have to divide into maybe 15 days sprint, right? So each sprint already your problems are getting solved and then uploaded to your test server.
Right.
Again, suppose 10 feature you gave in these 15 days. Then some 20 bugs came from the testing team. So you are fixing the 20 bugs. That's fine. Apart from that, you are working for next sprint new features also, right? As a developer. So imagine at the end of the sprint, already one migration gone, and your data is placed, everything is working fine. Now tester has started testing. So they will go on giving bugs as well as you have certain plan for next sprint, right? So when this second sprint will be ended up, and you are going to again go for a release in the test server, that time you are again migrating, right? Now suppose total 6 sprint is done, your 3 months period is over, your whole project is developed already. It's not like second sprint some additional field will come at the end of 3 months, not like that. Already your test server is working like a production environment for you, right? So you went on fixing bugs, you went on giving new features like that. When your 3 months, all 6 sprint will be over, that time you have to truncate completely your transaction, what is that? Migration table data as well as your migration C# code. Now it is like a fresh application for you when you are going for the release to the UAT, user acceptance test, right? So in UAT, you are deploying without any previous migration. That means it's not like 4-5 times. That 4-5 times of migration, it become in our own environment, right? Then imagine after another 3 months, one more release you are giving. Then already some migration has happened 3 months back. You are giving one more maybe enhancement release. So that time you cannot delete the history in the target database. So you have to plan in such a way that's why we use DevOps, right? Microsoft Azure DevOps. So you have to take the release branch, whatever already released in the production, that latest you have to take. Then in the DevOps you have to merge these codes, which is your last 3 months news release plan, all the zero bug version. So now that you are going to merge with the previous code in DevOps, right? So once that is done, if you are taking to production or UAT, that time you don't need to go there and migrate it, right? You have already taken the release branch, that means production release branch, and then you have merged the code as per the new news enhancement version, and whatever merge conflict you might have already got in your local environment, then you test one more round in the test server and then put it into the UAT again. That means that UAT will work like your pre-production. Okay. So now imagine pre-production UAT is done. That means zero bug again. Now when we will go to production, nothing to do, no migration, nothing, everything will be in place already in UAT. Because UAT is, you can say, one twin brother of production only, right? So like that things are happening. If something conflict or something downtime happen, downtime means customer are not able to use or something, then that will happen in the UAT server, user acceptance server. Okay. So when it will go to production, it is sure that 10-minute downtime means in 10 minutes it will definitely finish our work, because that work has already happened in our UAT. So like that usually it happens. So you will not face any migration oriented problem in the directly production server. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Sir, what about after say 6 months, any changes?
That will again your UAT become your temporary production server. Okay. And your local test server become zero migration now. Again, it will start from the first time migration, like your database is fresh, your application is fresh. Like that, the cycle will repeat.
Okay.
And so one more, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
In the view page, we will use divs, sir.
View page?
In view page, we will use divs. DIV, tags.
Divs, okay.
Sir, what is the difference that make A of H reference and these divs, sir?
How related both are? If it's for division, section by section, you are planning and designing something. You are comparing with hyperlink.
Yes, sir. In
How
layout page
div
to
is
link.
related to hyperlink?
No, sir. If I want to give a text box, we can give it from div also. Inside the div, we'll have some input text box and all. Whereas in A of H reference, directly it will access to when give a hyperlink.
See, H reference is hyperlink basically. HTML hyperlink.
Okay.
Div is div tag of HTML. Text box is input text box.
Okay.
So all are totally different thing, na? One is input when we are saying that is like a field. Field means like a control, radio button, checkbox, text box, drop down. These are all control, data input controls. That is not as equal as your hyperlink, na? So how these are all interrelated also. All are different meaning. Hyperlink means click and go somewhere. Text box means you take the data from the user. Div means you define the division section for applying various styles or font or format in that particular area instead of applying in whole page. So that is div, division. Division short form is div. So in Bootstrap, sometimes that div will apply some style. That are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
Like, so that it will behave like a text box and they will put one text. See, that is style actually for applying some style. Imagine 3-4 text box are there and you want to apply same font style for all those 3-4 text box. Then you put one div. Inside that div, suppose 3-4 text box are there, one time you apply in the div so that it will apply to all 3 text boxes. That kind of thing sometimes you use, but that time also will not say div is the text box. Text box is there inside. That's why it behaved whatever you are applying in div. So no relation. All are 3 different things. Div for division, anchor tag for your hrefs we are giving hyperlink as equal as your action link, @action link, right? HTML.action link. So all are different actually. So if you go through little any basic HTML site or tutorial, you will get little idea about HTML.
Okay.
Since we are using HTML helpers here,
Yes, sir.
that much knowledge not required. Just you can get some basic idea from the tutorial of any, like W3 schools or something. HTML idea. So all are for different meaning.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me share my screen. So many of the students, those who have completed first module already presented me, they have to do the second module. So today my plan is, I will explain first that module, second module, and if we will get some time, then we can come to a few more things I have to tell you in the jQuery. Okay, we have something called jQuery Ajax functionality. So what is Ajax? How jQuery is helping to go for Ajax callback? One important area is there, but let me keep some work by explaining you our second module. So I will go to first module, Excel. Let me. Some people I have already told the screen, but some people I have not told. So within 5 minutes, first I will explain again this one. Then I will, those who have completed first module, I have already explained this, but those who have not completed, perhaps you might not have got the idea. So quickly I will do this and then we'll go for next screen, the second module. Let me. Usually those people are presenting, then and there I will explain the next module sometimes. So because for others, they should not wait. This one is basically for creating the questionnaire template. This is for the questions to be used for our feedback purpose. So let me open our notepad so that you can relate with your requirement. Project requirement related something. Here we discussed module number 1. Now module number 2 is feedback questionnaire or feedback questions. So whenever you give some feedback about somebody, there will be already some questions will be there. Say it as question or say it as title, whatever. Sometimes it will not be question, it may be kind of title also. So for every level, okay, imagine peer level feedback you are giving or senior level feedback you are giving. For every level, that too for every domain, okay, there will be different question. Example, accounting domain of your organization will have different questionnaires, and IT domain in information technology domain of your organization will have different questionnaires. So these questionnaires will collect the information about that guy about whom we are taking the 360-degree feedback. Imagine 360 degree, why I'm saying, because senior also, junior also, peer also, all three we are covering. That's why it is also called 360-degree feedback. So every domain wise question will vary. Designation wise also question will vary. Domain might be information technology, but designation might be for senior manager. So those questionnaires and same information technology, one consultant, his questionnaires will be different, isn't it? Because there is something called competency comes into picture. If you are a senior manager, you might have 100 competencies. There is one consultant means he might have only 20 competencies or 5 competencies. So based on the designation, your responsibility is varying. That's why based on your responsibility predefined, the questions will be created. But from our side, in this project, we are not taking that much level of mapping like competency, designation, roles, nothing. We will just prepare one questionnaire and we will map it with, you can see, level of the person. Level means senior level or same level, peer level, or junior level, or super senior level. 3 levels we are maintaining, right? Junior level we are not keeping here. If necessary, we'll keep something called external feedback like vendor or something, but customer or vendor or agent, but we're not giving junior level. So level matters for us. And what is this level all about? Already we might have maintained during our database insertion. When we are saying designation, have a look. So when we are saying CEO, president, both are in level number 1. When we are saying maybe assistant manager, we are saying junior manager or whatever, maybe same level. So based on the level, we are going to define the feedback. That is our plan, okay, to little compact this application. Otherwise, if you see the real application, it will be minimum 4 levels of the dependency. So at least one level of dependency we should be able to do. That is called label ID. Have a look. Questions will be mapped with label ID. That means my designation will tell what is my label, and according to that label, it will tell what is the questionnaires applicable for me. Okay. So how to do this? These labels, you have to take it from unique combination of this designation table. So label ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that it will be there. Unique, why I'm saying, imagine 5 people are having 1, 1, 1, then only 1 time 1 you have to take, and so on. Okay. So if you want, you can maintain a separate label table, and label ID versus label name you can take and bind to this drop down. If you are not taking a separate table called label, then you have to pick the unique combination of all the labels from here. But I will suggest take a master ID. Label ID I have written, right? That means I assume that there is a table called label master. Okay. 1. Maybe description will be, this description is different. This is about your designation description. But this label ID is coming from one more table called label detail. Okay, so let me draw that here. Then I will go to that other screen. So should I rename it? Label details is the table name. And any one of the table I will just copy paste. And then I will change that name. This is disturbing. So here I will give it as label details. And here you can take label ID, label description. Other things you keep as it is. These are all common columns. So here also it will be label ID if necessary, but don't do these crude operation related screens first up, as a first priority. When our course will be completed, later on these easy screens you can do yourself. Currently, only focus difficult screens first, okay? Whichever is having lot of features. These are all what? Insert operation, right? Anytime you can do without my help also. So this kind of screens, don't give first priority. If other people have not done, we have not discussed next module, some time is there, you have already finished previous work, then you jump to this, that is fine. So label management, something like that you wrote, and here you say label. Okay, repetitive screens don't do. Directly enter the data in the table itself, go ahead. Okay, so you can see role detail, one small screen, designation detail, one small screen. Okay, so still this one you can do because some drop down binding is there, one text box is there, so collecting data and displaying also there. So that one you do, but this kind of small screens, which is straightforward screens, currently don't do. Directly enter in the database. Okay, I'm designing it here just to understand. It is your task, but easy task don't do now. Keep it for future. Currently, you manage your whatever time you get for doing wherever business related implementation are there. Okay, so imagine this table is already having data. So should I say here label description? Label description. And here it will be FIRST, first level, second level, and so on.
It's 7 o'clock.
If you think I don't want to display first level, second level, etc., directly 1, 2, 3, 4 also you can display there, no problem. Just to maintain one similarity across all master data, I'm saying this label like that. Otherwise, not required. You can directly hard code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also. Third level, and this is fourth level. That means in my questionnaire template screen, where from that label came, you understood, right? This drop down came from this table only. This will be the value field, this will be the text field. Over. And here I have written 1, 2, 3, etc. That means it will come from 1, 2, 3, etc. value field. FIRST, SCCUND, etc. will be text field. Okay, just for your understanding, hint I gave. Now here, this is a big text box. You can go for text area. Okay, some 4 to 5 lines you can keep there and then type it. This is a simple text box. You can allow alphabet, you can allow numeric, okay, and you can allow some certain 2 to 3 special character also, like dash, comma, these are all special character. You can allow that. Submit. When you are collecting this, you have to submit it. So in this table, right side I have defined the table structure. This is just to display the data. Table structure, label, ID maintaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, question as it is. That means this is primary key with identity. These 2 columns directly come and sit from screen, and created date, modified date and all that 4 columns you know already. So created date will come from the user session, and then modified date will be null, modified by will be null. So for every table, these 4 columns you include, even though I forgot to mention. Okay, created by, modified by, created by, modified by, created date, modified date, 4 columns. So that's it. Now you submitted this data, it came and sit here. Some instruction I have given here, read it out, whatever that instruction. Based on that, you are just going and saving it. Now after saving that data, okay, questionnaire data, you already saved it. Now what? Next. Let me check that Excel whether I have prepared any more module for you.
Wow.
Forgot password and all we have discussed. Feedback, questionnaire. Acha. Login. One task is here, which I have given. Your user detail will be, through third party. Third party means from some web API. Okay. So when you are clicking this login button, you have to communicate with one web API in order to.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, this the user registration we discussed, but that part, the login page, change password, technically we haven't discussed.
Change password everybody has implemented. I don't know where we have slept. They have shown me also.
In our group, sir, actually.
And I have also told, first time user logs in, it should forcefully take to the change password screen. Forgot password, I have not given the task. But change password, it's already in place. This is very first tab. This is your file only. I'm not creating any new file. Okay.
I will check, sir.
Yeah. Now coming to after creation of the questionnaires, what? Okay. So where we are going to use that questionnaires. So there is something called feedback schedule. Okay, so let me give in the project instruction. Feedback questions. Already I explained, so I will just write here, refer the Excel sheet. Okay, already in Excel sheet I have written bunch of instructions that you follow. Module number 2 only, I will write here feedback questionnaires, questions template. Okay. Module number 2 only, if somebody already presented me this much, whatever I explained, I will give some extended requirement based on that. Okay. Currently, I'm not extending any requirement because very less hours you people are providing to this table. So I don't think, within limited time, you people can do those extended features. But yeah, at least whatever I'm doing, you present it. Whoever presented, I can give little extended work also on that module itself. So I will consider it as module number 3, but I have module number 2, a few more things. Based on your efforts, I will give it. So module number 3 says, feedback scheduling. Okay, feedback scheduling. That means imagine after 20 days, feedback is supposed to be taken from various levels, or after 1 month. So before 1 month itself, what we are going to do, we means our customer I'm talking about. Okay, what our customer is going to do by this application. Somebody will be there, admin. Okay, that admin guy will come to the system, and he will check how many levels of people are there total. Imagine 10 level of people are there. Now if he will go to one level, all the guys. Okay, first I will theoretically explain the requirement like a customer, then I will come back to plan technically. So admin came, his intention now is to schedule. Scheduling means deciding who will be the target person for feedback and who is giving the feedback. Imagine you are assistant manager, I'm senior manager, then chance is there I'm giving feedback to you and about you, and it is senior level feedback. Imagine I'm assistant manager, you are also assistant manager, then it will be I'm giving feedback to you about you, that means about you, but it is peer level feedback. So like that we have decided level wise feedback. So if I'm admin, I came to the system, first thing I should select is about which level of people I'm going to give the feedback, right? That means feedback from, feedback to, two things. So feedback from level is what you have to select, and feedback to level will be automatically populated based on what you have selected in the category of feedback. Imagine I said feedback from level is 1, and I said feedback category is peer. That means left side one category, right side one category, it is decided. So based on that category, it will pick up the audience. So if you go here, designation, imagine left side you selected 1 as the label. That means who is giving feedback is 1, who is getting feedback is also 1, because you selected peer label. Okay, little complicated screen, carefully understand. So who is providing feedback, label you selected. What category of feedback, that category also selected. So based on label and category, you can easily say that who are all going to provide the feedback. So if decided that okay, 2 and 3 level people are going to give the feedback, and 1 level people are going to get the feedback, suppose, then you should have a user-friendly environment saying that okay, audience to whom will be given, these are the user list, and audience by whom it will be given, these are the user list, and you have to go for the automatic shuffling in order to decide who is going to give feedback for whom. So that means in the back end, it will be decided who is going to give feedback to whom. Only in front end, only in the screen, you are going to decide which level is going to give feedback to which level. Now let's come to our layout plan. So how we are going to plan this screen. Then we'll decide what will be our tabular structure to achieve this particular requirement. Okay, so let me plan one layout. So this, I will name this screen as scheduling. Feedback, scheduling. First I want to select by whom, to whom. Okay, so I will say here, I will just make one kind of border. Little bit small one I will take because the area is little smaller. So this one, okay. So feedback to, and one more I will say feedback by. Not necessarily design you have to adapt. Okay, this is just for your understanding. I'm making two sections or divisions, you can say. So feedback to, that means who is the candidate for whom we are planning the scheduling. Then feedback by, feedback will be given by. Okay. So feedback by will be decided based on category of the feedback. So here, should I add one more line? Little bit extra line I will add, because one more drop down I want to have here. What is the category of the feedback you are going to schedule? So feedback in our notepad, what we have named that category as super senior, senior level, and peer level. Okay, so we will say it as feedback category, feedback category level we will say, and here one drop down will be there. Just putting some other color to understand that it's a drop down. Okay, so I selected here to which level. Let's say level, I selected it as this. Also will be one drop down only, little different color taking or contrasting, and below that it will be designation. On selection of label, you are taking one designation list. This table is going to help you for that. All the labels you displayed first. On selection of, suppose you selected the label number 1. For that label number 1, imagine CEO is also there, president is also there. Then in this drop down, automatically it should bind CEO and president. So let me write that right side for your reference. On selection of label drop down, bind designation, correct spelling now, yeah, designation drop down. Okay, so you know general binding of the drop down on load of the page, but this time I'm asking not load of, on the load of the page. On the load of the page, label has to be binded, that is first here, but on selection of the drop down, you have to bind this one, designation. Okay, this will be in you know, after this topic, whatever I'm going to teach you, that Ajax, using Ajax you have to do it. So I'll mention it here, using Ajax you do it. You can do it server side also, but I want it through Ajax. So use Ajax callback to bind second drop down or designation drop down. Okay, so now your designation came and sit here. So because for one designation at a time, we are going to schedule the feedback. Okay, so designation I selected, suppose CEO. So here I said label is 1, and here I said CEO. In this drop down, two things came, CEO and president. I selected, suppose, CEO. Then you select which level of the feedback you want. So here, one extra things I'm going to give you. On selection of label, okay, imagine label itself is 1. I don't want other labels. Like suppose, if you see here, a person's label itself is 1. That means they don't have any senior or super senior. So they can only go for the peer level. That means here, I should have only one option in this drop down. That kind of logic I want. Okay. If somebody selected 2, it will check whether anybody is there less than also, greater than also in the master table. If I selected 2, less than some level also existing, greater than level also existing. Right? If that is the case, that means a person whose level is 2, as per his designation, he should have provision for senior level, super senior level, as well as peer level. But this guy, whose level itself is 1, he should not have senior or super senior level. He should have only peer level. So that kind of whatever maximum possibility, you have to give the logical business logic approach, so that a person should not get wrong labeling here, wrong drop down level here. So again repeating, I selected here 1 in the label. CEO and president came, no problem. But at the same time, this should also come and bind based on what you selected. If I selected 1 and table doesn't contain anything less than 1, anything less than 1 it is not containing, means there is no senior, no super senior. No senior and no super senior. Only peer. Somebody selected, suppose 2. It is not the matter 2 or 3 or 1. It is matter whatever he selected. If less than that number, anything existing in the master, then you have to check whether senior level existing as well as super senior level existing. Example, I am taking 1 for this, 2 for this. Otherwise, you should not hard code for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You should apply the logic like greater than, less than, equal to, this kind of logic. Whatever user selected, less than that, is there any existing level available in the database? If yes, that means senior level is at least there. Whatever senior level ID more than anything existing, then super senior also should come. Peer level always should come, no problem at all. But to decide whether senior level also and super senior level also to come, you have to apply this logic. So if you are understanding this logic correctly, you can tell me if 2 I selected in this first level drop down. In my second level drop down, that is feedback level drop down, what should come?
1 and 2, sir.
Senior should come and peer should come.
Right.
Okay. Super senior should not come. Suppose somebody selected 3. Then
You can write
senior also, super senior also,
and peer.
and peer also. That means your business logic should be in such a way that your drop down will populate as per correct business requirement information, not incorrect. It's not like hard coded every time 1 to 10. Then people will do the human error right here. So he selected president also, and he is saying super senior also. Then who will be the super senior to president? So if that doesn't exist at all, then you should not bring that label here. That is one thing. So every level I'm going on writing what is supposed to be. Chalo, you decided which designation level you are going to give the feedback, suppose. Now feedback by means audience basically. Who is going to? Audience, a candidate has selected. Now based on this label, we have to decide who will be the audience to give the feedback. Yeah, before going to that, you are asking something, Manesh?
Yes, sir. Sir, this screen will run in the combination of the level and designation. Like how as many as level and designation combination has we need to run.
Let me finish. You will easily understand. Okay. So backend, we have to process the scheduling. So we are not saying that Amit is going to give feedback to Sumit. That level we are not doing here. We are going to say CEO level in the do feedback, and whoever, whatever you selected here, based on that, whichever level will come, that will buy. So backend, it will do that. Okay, all CEO take in one angle, all president take it in another angle, then shuffle it and prepare the scheduling so that a repetition should not happen. So that kind of things also one logic you have to apply in the backend. Okay, so now name level, like who is that CEO, you are not deciding. You are saying CEO. Fortunately, it may be only one CEO because you selected CEO. Unfortunately, it may be 200 employee also because you selected a clerk. In the company, 200 clerks are there, who knows? Or you selected, suppose, software consultant. Chances there 500 software consultant are there. So 500 name you are not selecting here. You are saying which designation is the target audience for feedback. Source audience for feedback, this is going to decide, second part. Okay. So now you tell me, if I selected already feedback to level and I selected already feedback category level, taking these two drop down selected value, okay, taking these two drop down selected value, additionally this second drop down, which is called designation, can to pick some audience from this table. User table is having all audience, right? If there are 5,000 employees, 5,000 records are there maybe. But if you select these three drop down, and after that you are going to pick the audience who are there in this organization, whose level also one, his designation also CEO, and his feedback category is going to be somebody else. So that means already you decided source and target. That means Chala CEO always becomes 1 or 2, so I will not take it. I will take, suppose, vice president, for example. Okay. So vice president may be 5 also, no? 5 vice president might be there in 5 different zone of that organization. So imagine 5 people has been targeted by this selection, right? By this selection, blue color drop down selection, don't you think right hand side audience also will be targeted? So here suppose A guy, B guy, C guy, D guy and E guy. These 5 people has been targeted to feedback. Okay. Now if I will ask you by feedback, by this blue color drop down, can you tell that? That means who will be providing the feedback by selection of this blue color drop down, easily you can tell. How? Now suppose I selected this time peer level. Just an example I am taking. Okay, I selected here peer level. Now label you have selected 2 maybe because vice president whoever the senior manager, suppose they are coming in level 2. So in drop down, here you selected 2 and here you selected peer. That means what you got here, if it is peer, based on designation selection, you can target it. That means
They will
level 2 and here vice president. That means except that guy, whoever are vice president available in the organization, don't you think those will be the targeted ends? That means for A, it will be like B. Chalo, I will take 3 vice president to make little less complication. So B and C can give the feedback to this guy. A and C can give the feedback to this guy, and A and B can give the feedback to this guy. Here I'm in this screen, I'm trying to check your logical ability fully. Okay. Crude operation little required, cascading drop down knowledge is required with the help of Ajax, and most importantly, logic, programmatical logic. Okay. So all 3 things is required in this screen. So my plan of this project will be like that. Whatever I'm teaching, that should be implemented, but in a real-time manner. So now, to and by also you decided. Now here, I want manually you are not selecting if A is my source and B is my target, or B is my source and C is my target. I don't want that. This should be automatically prepared. Okay, automatically prepared. So instead of saying here feedback by, we will say feedback list directly. Feedback schedule, SCH, schedule list. And near to this drop down, you put one button also. I'll keep a button here and I will write there schedule. Understand it. I will repeat again. So you selected feedback 2 label. Imagine 2, for example. You selected vice president. That means in that 2 label, there are 2 things or 3 things available. I selected only one, that is vice president. So here I selected peer means it will target who are else vice president are there. Imagine I selected 1. 1 means what? As per our plan, category level 1 means super senior. Category level 2 means senior. Category level 3 means peer. So I selected 1 now. That means super senior. Okay. Super senior, I think possibility will not be there in this example because 2 doesn't have any super senior. So suppose I selected here also 2 in the second drop down, blue color wala drop down. So here I selected 2, here I selected 2. So what is going to happen? That means feedback 2 is 2. That means whoever are as per the designation level 2, and I selected vice president out of this, and in category level also I selected 2. Category level selected 2 means senior level. So now that means who are all senior to vice president? That is the meaning. Who are all senior to vice president? So now tell me who are all senior to vice president? Check it out here. If vice president is available here, so never hard code anything. You have to write the logic in such a way. If I selected vice president also, it should pick the senior is president. If I picked senior manager also, next time, then it should pick vice president as senior level. Okay, so this is imagine 2, this is imagine 3 label ID. Okay, so business logic, if not understanding, ask me. But if once understood, you have to implement it and so on. So I selected 2 here and I selected vice president in the designation. Then I selected 2 here as well Okay, 2 means senior level. So who are all senior to vice president, right? So there are 3 vice presidents who are all senior to vice president, means it will come maybe K and P, like that. Suppose 2 guys came. These are the user ID I'm talking about. Okay, because first 2 calculated as per level number 2, as per level number of feedback category. What is the remaining number? That means senior than 2 means 1. So who are all available in the organization with label ID 1, they will be targeted in one hand. That means you have to prepare this to list and by list in the backend. Up to this preparation of the list, you ask me if you are not understanding. After that, we will go to the scheduling part. So I said on selection of drop down and click of the schedule button, it is going to prepare 2 list. For preparing this 2 list by feedback and to feedback, we have sufficient information here, whether you understood or not. Anybody? On click of schedule button, I said I have sufficient information here in order to prepare to user ID list and from user ID list. Anybody there who could not understand how you will prepare those 2 lists in the C# side? Easy. That means to list also you can prepare, by list also you can prepare, and your logic will be in such a way for any selection it should work. Not like hard coded 2 or 3 or 4. Any selection hit it, your logic should work accordingly. That who will be the source audience, that means by audience, and who will be the target audience or to audience. That means K is going to give feedback to A, P also may be going to give feedback to B, and K also may be going to feedback to C. So chances there not necessarily how many people to, that many people will be from, not necessary. Okay, so by feedback means from feedback. Who is giving, that is called by feedback. To whom we are giving, that is to feedback. So now I'm coming to next level of the design, logic, where you will be connect A to P or K to C and C to K, like that. That will be one more level of understanding. So up to this, everybody understood on selection of all 3 drop down and on click of the schedule button, what is going to happen in the C# side. I'm not coming to view now. C# side means controller you called, from controller you took this information to the repository, and repository communicated with the database. Now database gave only those list as per your input. Now you have 2 lists in the repository. One is called to list, one is called from list. Now both the list you are going to put inside one view model if you want to take it to the controller, but few more additional logic is there to decide who is going to give feedback to whom. Yeah. So up to this, everybody clear, guys? Now repository prepared. One list for target audience, one list by source audience. Now what I want to apply some logic in the business. Okay. Business logic means I have 2 lists without repeating one person 2 times. That means A is my target guy to whom we are going to give feedback. Source guy, I have 5, maybe 2, maybe 20, maybe less than this, maybe more than this. Depends, So what should we write the logic after taking these 2 lists so that it will prepare a final list like this? I have 2 lists, LST1, LST2 suppose. Okay, LST feedback by or feedback to. Here I have suppose LST feedback by. Just assume that you are in repository only and you are collecting the data based on that logic, that what has been selected in this drop down. Now you prepared to, you prepared by. But this two data you are not going to display here on the screen. What you are going to display is final list. That means final schedule list, I will say. Means combination of two column. So you can say this list will have two property. That means whichever class list you are preparing, the final list, that class will have two property. That is feedback by and feedback to. So this is a single property list, that is user ID list only. This is a single property list, user ID list only. But this is a two property list, and those properties are feedback by, feedback to. All are string property. Okay. So how to prepare this list? What logic you have to apply? So let me mention it as your heading kind of thing. Just to understand. To, by, and this is this. So now you tell me, as per this example, what should be in list? Okay. Everybody should get one guy allocated. That means first I will take A from top to bottom. Suppose I selected K logically and I allocated it. Okay. Now if already K has been allocated, I will not tell about in for loop what you have to do, or in lambda expression what you have to do. That you have to decide. Okay. But my requirement I am telling you. A got K, B should not get K, suppose P, as long as candidates are available, by candidates are available, no need to repeat. C, now no more candidates are there for the by, right? So now you don't have any clue. Now what do you have to do for C? You have to repeat K. That means as long as identical information you are getting, you go ahead. When you are not getting, you can repeat it. That means this is permissible, but K is not permissible, or P is not permissible. Okay. So if you have number of candidate, you have to decide accordingly. Okay. So K with P and here K again, this is fine. So logic is, as long as I'm not finishing all my by part, I will go on allocating individual. When I will finish this, then I have no other way, I have to repeat that guy. But you don't repeat that guy in such a way that all the candidates are only applicable to him. Still, some people are there who has not been allocated to anybody. That kind of combination not applicable. So imagine you prepare this in the backend. All these things is happening where, guys? In the repository only. Okay. Now final view model list is ready. This one. Now you have to return it back to controller. Now controller is going to take that view model list, and it will decide here. Or I will not make it so complicated screen. I will take it a different screen. So should I make this as no fill? Assume that this is a separate screen. Okay. So in this separate screen, what you are doing, you are taking and displaying it. So how to display? You are telling 3 columns here again. One is feedback to, One is feedback by, and one is edit. Okay, assume that automatic definitely prepared, but later on you came to know that just yesterday this target guy got some health issue, so he will not be present, and tomorrow is our scheduling starts, maybe feedback scheduling date is tomorrow, so you cannot forcefully ask that guy to give the feedback. So in that case, if necessary, reason may be anything, but if necessary, you should have editing facility. So once you click on schedule, in the backend itself, it prepared that list and returned to one more action method. That action method is going to display in a separate view. So in this separate view, I want this data here. Here I'll give the kind of table. Okay, and this is a second view, second screen. This is first screen. That means before final submission of the scheduling, it is showing in one screen to you. Ki, as per your selection, this has happened. Before saving this, do you want to edit anything? If yes, edit it, and then finally I will take it and save it to the database. Okay. So if I will tell whole project maximum complicacy, in this screen you will get logical complicacy, and this drop down bindings, cascading drop down and all. When you learn Ajax, you can easily come to know how to do. So that's not a big deal. So on selection of one drop down, how to bind other drop down, that is easy, no problem. I will teach you also after this. But on click of schedule button, one complication is there. And on selection of label, how many labels will come here, category labels, that is also one small logic you have to apply. Like I said, if one selected, then this should have only one, that to only peer label, and so on. So two logical complications there. Try to identify and do that. One is on selection of label, how to get feedback label, feedback category label, that is having some little small complication. And on schedule button click, also you have little complication that okay, I selected label this, designation this, and feedback category this. Based on these three input, who will be my source audience, who will be my target audience, and that is nothing but your user ID. Okay, and user ID list you got here, user ID list you got here. You are going to, prepare a combination based on certain logic, so that one person should not get overload work, another person is just relaxing. So you have to take it about that. Your logic should be in such a way the equal work will be distributed, almost equal work should be distributed. Like here, if I will say K has 2 assessment and P has only 1 assessment, understood, it's fine. Somehow you have to compromise because total 2 people are there. But it should not be all the work allocated to K and P is ideally sitting, he doesn't have any work. So like that, today we are thinking about feedback, tomorrow we may feel about enterprise resource planning. So this is one logic, that one person should not sit ideally, another person should have maximum work. So that work distribution we are doing. It's not like feedback is a very big work, but okay, that logic you apply so that it should be almost equal distribution. Exact equal you cannot say, but almost equal distribution to do for that combination. Now you are going to display here. Imagine here it displayed USR 001. Okay, here it is displaying USR 008 as per the auto scheduling, automatic shuffling of the data and preparing and showing you. So here it is saying USR 002, feedback should be given by USR 006, like that. Some list you got. Okay, some list you got. logical part I'm saying, that's why I'm including user ID. But for user friendliness, if you want, you can include name also along with this. Okay, check it out if you can do it. Additional, that is just an additional column. That means feedback to, name to, feedback by, name by. That will give little more clarity that this user ID belongs to that guy. Or even you can include employee ID also, because if you see, our user detail is also having employee ID. Because in company, everybody is represented by their employee ID, right? Not by the logged on username. So totally up to you. If you have time, you can include one more column also called employee ID. That means in front of us, who is going to give feedback and who is going to get feedback, both are ready. Now, it is asking, do you want to edit anything? Okay, then edit it. Or do one thing. First time when you are preparing, just submit it. Don't go for edit. Just have a look and submit it. Okay. And when you submit it, you display the final submission and you give the facility to edit it. Just not to make much complicated in a single screen. I'm saying just submit it. Below we can do that, in fact. I'll do somewhere below. That means you just saw it and then submitted it. So when you're submitting, which data is going here? This list and this list data is going. Okay. If you are able to do this, I have more work to give, which may use, more techniques. But now I'm not going to give any additional work. Let me see how people are doing this. If you presented it, then in this screen also some cosmetics work are there. I may give it to you. It will depend how many people you are preparing it and showing me. So, but yeah, first, which is essential business logic, that I'm giving you now. Okay. So when you click on submit button, you already saw it, and this edit button I'm making it optional. If you have time, do it. Otherwise, leave it now. As of now, so when you are submitting the button, there should be a table where this kind of data should go and sit as it is. That means who is the user ID by, who is the user ID to, right? So I'm going to give you one table structure this side. Give me a minute. Somewhere here I will write that table structure. So my table structure, I will name it as feedback scheduling. Okay, feedback scheduling or feedback scheduling details, and it will have as usual one called identification column, that is primary key with identity. So name of the column, data type, and others. So name of the column will be ID, should I say SCH ID, schedule ID. Data type will be take big int, because schedule will be huge going forward. Okay, and primary key with identity. Then you take feedback by, say varchar 50, because wherever user ID is coming, there we are taking varchar 50. Feedback to varchar 50. And one more thing, no doubt you are selecting the label, everything and all, but this scheduling is for which particular feedback session. Okay, one more thing additionally came. because December 2022 one feedback might be there. Again, July 2023 one more feedback might be there. Na? So you have to keep all this scheduling against a particular session, like December 2022 or July 2023, December 2023, again July 2024, like that one, session period against you have to store it. Like when you are studying in BTech, you have semester, right? July 2022, like that you have. So here also feedback we want 2 times in a year. So you have to prepare scheduling as per which particular session. So let me include one more table here, which will say it as feedback sessions. Okay, this is a small screen just like this. Just a master data. So this will be feedback sessions and feedback session ID, FSID, and feedback session description, and other things are perfectly fine. So this screen, I'm just giving the blueprint, feedback, but don't do this. Feedback session management. Here you're writing session name and dash be on mute. So feedback session name, and here this table will have feedback description. Okay, and created by, modified by, and all that will be there. Now for this, it may be July 2022, it may be December 2022, it may be July 2023, it may be December 2023, whatever. Okay, that means here while submitting, you are submitting against a session. So what I will do is I will just cut and paste it little below, and here I will give one more drop down. So before submission, you are saying, no doubt this combination I selected, but for which session? So feedback session. So here one more drop down. Okay, this is also a drop down. That means here you need one more called feedback session ID, FSID, integer. Whichever feedback session you have selected and submitted, that ID should come and sit here. Imagine 100 lines is coming and sitting in this table. Maybe all 100 lines maybe have feedback session ID 777777 like that. Chance is there. Okay, based on your data of this particular table. So if it is December 2022, then 2222 will be all 100 or 50 rows, whatever you are going to insert here. Okay, in this table. This is skeletal structure of the table. So these are all headings. Any confusion? So only this screen you target. But yeah, after finishing this one, of course. Okay. So feedback, we have not yet started. We are preparing for feedback. Okay. These are all admin rights activity. So this one I will name it as feedback scheduling. Okay. Any Any additional help anywhere? This is a master screen, so nothing to do. Just prepare a model class. Once you migrate, that table will be ready. Directly enter some data in that table. No need to prepare this screen as of now. But yeah, work on this. So this screen is a must work screen. This screen is a must work screen. User registration is a must work screen. Okay. Login also, yes. User registration, all three screens you should work definitely. Others, you just prepare the model class and migrate and directly enter the data into the backend. And these two screens again, not to forget. One is feedback question template, one is feedback scheduling. Yeah, Latika, you are asking something.
Sir, in that feedback category level,
Uh-huh.
in that drop down, that senior level, super senior level, peer level, that you will come, right?
Yeah.
So for that, again, we have to create another table for that feedback category level. And
No, no. I think we have not prepared that.
no, means
Okay.
because according to that level, whatever we will select.
Correct. You are right. I thought we have already prepared that kind of master table. So that is called feedback category level, right? So feedback category level. So you prepare one more feedback category level also. So I'll prepare it and keep it near this. So this will be feedback category labels. It will be almost similar again. Okay, no need for design screen and all. Directly enter the data in the database. So feedback categories or category labels. So here I will say feedback category labels ID, FCL ID, and feedback category labels description, FCL description. Other thing is same. Here also same. Feedback category management, and here it will be feedback category description. That's it. Okay, so this is one more master table because we need that here in this drop down, right? Absolutely fine.
Sir, another question. In backend only, then do we have to store the data like when if level 1 is selected, so with level 1 that so and so feedback category level should get displayed, so according to that we have to set it
Yeah.
like master and child, that combination we already have to create in a database, right?
On submit button, you are saving into database, but on schedule button click, you are just preparing the combination just like this and taking to another screen to display it.
uh,
So on
no,
schedule click, you are not saving to database.
no, my question is related uh, on the basis on a level drop down. Whatever the level we will select, on that basis the feedback category level should get displayed,
Should
right?
come, absolutely.
So that combination we already have to set in a database.
Already it is there.
Okay.
If you see, if you go to this table, you can see, imagine I selected 2
It's 8 o'clock.
and I selected senior level. Then who is senior than 2? Senior than 2 means 1 always.
Yes.
Who is super senior than 3? 1. So like that it will be decided.
Okay, means the tables join will be with itself only.
Yeah, so not join nothing. It's a very simple. Like you selected only one, join one, kuch nahi chahiye. Just you selected one label, right? Imagine here you selected 4.
Right.
So you take that input 4 and search in this table now. For 4 and as well as for super senior, or for 4 as well as senior, which combination you are getting. You can get it here. You selected 4, you selected senior. Tell me who will be selected here. Senior than 4 means 3, na?
Yes.
So now you got collected 3, and who are all people whose level is 3? How will come to know? Who are all people whose level is 3 means who are all senior managers indirectly. So in this table you will get who are all senior managers, because already you are storing the role ID here.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Role ID is there. Yeah.
Even designation ID also you are keeping directly. So easy. That means pick the 4 from there and check in this table who is senior than 4. Then you got the designation. And in the user table you see who are all available for that designation. Over. Okay.
Okay. Means the level and its related designation, with that combination we have to show
Absolutely.
the users, right?
Users, target audience. है ना?
Okay.
Now you got the target audience one hand. Other hand you got the buy audience also. Who are going to be. That means buy audience, how it will decided? Feedback category level already you selected. Na? So who is going to give feedback already you decided. So imagine you decided 3 is going to give feedback. So who are all 3 level people? Now in one hand you said who are all actual people to give feedback and who are all buy people for this feedback. Now you are preparing the final list. Got it? Level will say to whom feedback will be given, and feedback category level will decide by whom feedback will be given. Is that clear now?
Okay.
Okay. So feedback 2 heading you have written. That means label I selected 3 means who are all 3. They are the 2 people. DO2. Okay. Then I selected category level, senior level or peer level or what level. That will decide who are all senior than this guy or who are all peer to this guy. I mean this level. So source list, target list. That you have to get on click of schedule. Okay. For better clarity, let's check another example. I will select, you tell me what will be done. Suppose I selected here 3. Where? No, first level, first drop down. I selected 3. For 3, whatever the designation that came here. Now check the
Vice president.
check it out. For 3, senior manager.
Sorry,
Okay.
I mean,
Imagine 2 people are there, general manager, senior manager. 2 take category there for 3. Imagine. Possibility is there now. 2 people, 2 category people will be of same level, So senior manager and general manager came in this drop down. Okay.
designation drop down.
Yeah, in this designation drop down. Got it. Now I selected general manager here. General manager here. Okay. So here selected 3, here selected general manager. Right? Now here I selected senior level, suppose, in this drop down. Right?
Okay.
Senior level, that means who are all senior. Acha, forget about this blue color drop down. The moment you selected general manager, 2 audience will get or not. That means how many people are there in this user table general manager? There will be 2 audience, DO2.
Yes.
Okay. Imagine there are 3 general managers in the company. So don't you think the moment you selected this one, already left side list you got 3 people?
Yes, 3 people. 3 users.
3 users you got left side list.
Yes.
That means 2 list. Okay.
Yeah, 3 people are there. Yes.
3 people. Let's say A, B, C you got. Okay. Now you selected here senior level. That means who are all senior to this level? I mean, ABC you selected in one hand, whose designation is general manager. Now the moment selected senior, don't you think it is very clear to say who are all senior to general manager? है ना? Senior level means just upper level. So tell me who are just upper level to senior manager, sorry, general manager. If general manager is 3, who are just senior to them? 2. Vice president. है ना? That means my target audience will be, means by audience will be how many vice president are there in this company. Got it? Okay. So by will be how many vice president are there in this company, and 2 will be who are all really general manager. Okay. Like that 2 list you prepared from the database and kept it in the repository. Now you are shuffling both the data and preparing one final list. Okay. Keeping in mind that a little as much as possible try for the equal distribution of the work. That's it. So A is assigned to K means again B before assigned to K, check it out. If B has not been assigned, then assign it. So that assignment of the work, one logic you have to write in such a way like LST1, LST2. Suppose you are shuffling the data through a loop. Some conditional approach you have to apply so that my final list should be ready. That one person should not have got much more hard work with another person is ideally sitting. So that kind of thing you have to take care. Okay. So your final list is ready. Now take that and display in another screen. Right? Display it in another screen. Now there it is only for observation kind of thing. Just user see it and then submit it. That edit button I have given just for additional work. Imagine you have time, then you can go for that. If you don't have time, just submit it. Okay. In fact, why I am saying this? Currently you don't go for edit, submit it and save in the database. Later on, imagine you will get time finally, because edit is simple operation, right? So crude operation only. So that you can include later. That is not a much. So which is not adding much value, don't include it. Okay. Which is crude operation, direct, straightforward, don't include it. You can keep it as a second priority work. But which is having some extra logic or extra, work, variety of work, that you do. So is it clear?
Sir, one doubt. This edit is direct feeding of the user ID.
Can you repeat?
No, edit means like, do we have to directly
Combination editing. Combination editing. That
change
means
the user ID directly, is it?
user ID should not be changed. Na? Change that feedback by wala column. Imagine user is 001, auto scheduling prepared it for 008,
8, yeah.
but actually that guy is not regular, he is on leave for 1 month. So you selected some other guy for in place of this, right? So that is a separate extended work, but don't do that now. Because you have to finish also, right? So you should not stuck in one screen lot of work and you could not finish it. So as less as possible do, but as quality work as possible you do. Those are all crude operations you can do later also. Edit, delete, insert, these kind of things. Okay. Ajax, I thought to teach, but I don't think I will get time. So you have a lot of work to do now. So proceed. And if today itself somebody is proceeding, just put the drop-down list and find the data. When I will teach you Ajax, that time you will do this additional condition. That means on selection of first drop-down, please bind the second drop-down. But today if you are working, bind all 3 drop-down at a time. Okay? On the load of the page. I'll teach you that, then you can do it. But currently proceed your work, don't stop for me. You proceed work. A lot of work is there. You have to prepare a model for all this master table. Then once model is prepared, you have to prepare the DB set. Then you have to migrate one round so that all your transaction and master tables will be prepared. All master table data, you have to enter the data, and then you have to prepare this screen. Which screen? This one. So at least this screen you finish it, and till then we will be also covering Ajax. Then you can easily implement that Ajax concept in cascading dropdown. Okay. Work, guys. If you will not